Evening, everybody. Bank robber runs into a bank, he shoots into the ceiling, everybody hits the floor. In all the confusion, his balaclava has slipped. He says to the first bloke on the floor, "Did you see my face?" He says, "I did, yeah." Shoots him dead. Says the next bloke, "Did you see my face?" He says, "I did, yeah." Shoots him dead. Says the next bloke, "Did you see my face?" He says, "No, I didn't." The wife did. Last Christmas, my mum and dad stayed with me, and the one before that, and the Christmas before that, and the Christmas before that. And for many Christmases, my parents now stay with me at Christmas. That's when you are officially old. You youngsters go back to your mum and dad's for Christmas. You get to my age, they come and stay with you. But it's nice, it proves that life moves on. You're old enough to look after your own mum and dad. We were sitting there, 10 in the evening, Christmas Eve, watching a film. I turned to my mum and dad and I said, "Bed." It was a really lovely feeling, you know. And my mum said, "But John, the film's only just started." I said, "I don't care, go to bed." And don't think you're sleeping in the same room either. You might get away with that kind of thing under your roof. But I think if I die, pay the bills around here. Get a job, Dad. And start treating this place like a hotel. I've got a cat called Edward. And get this, Edward, my cat, has been diagnosed no less, as stressed. I've got a stressed cat. Guess how many hours a day he sleeps? 23. So for that one waking hour window, where he generally has a couple of shits and a couple of sachets of Felix as good as it looks, and I must admit it does look quite good. Once you factor out his shitting and eating time, for the remaining 30 minutes, he can't cope. My hero, Les Dawson, he says to his missus, "Do you believe in reincarnation?" She says, "You what?" He says, "Do you believe in reincarnation?" She says, "What's that?" He says, "You could come back as a different animal." She says, "What? I could come back as a cow?" He said, "You're not listening." Bloke is sitting at home, reading the paper, sees an advert, talking dog for sale. What? Talking dog? Who'd want to sell their dog that talks? So he goes round the house, knocks on the door. He says, "I'm here about your talking dog. Tell me about him." And the bloke says, "Well, he's in the sitting room where he'll tell you himself if you like." So he goes into the sitting room, the dog is sitting there. He says to the dog, "What have you been up to?" And the dog says, "Well, recently I swum the English Channel. It's 22 miles, did 6 months of training, raised about 70 grand for cancer research." "What else have you been up to?" He says, "Well, I've been learning the Led Zeppelin guitar solos." He says, "You what?" He says, "Yeah, I've been learning them, you know. They sound complicated, but they're not really. It's just a kind of 4-5-1 pentatonic scale with, blues overdubs, really. That's all it is. It's actually quite formulaic." So he goes out to the owner, he says, "Your dog's amazing. Why are you selling him?" He says, "I can't stand the lies." So the vet in his wisdom put one of these upside-down lampshade things on my cat's head. You know the ones, they look like an Elizabethan ruff. Edward's got this on. He can't see out either side. He thinks he's trapped. So he's walking backwards trying to get out of it like this. He gets near the edge of the table. I thought, let him go. That would be funny, wouldn't it? The vet stopped him. No sense of humour, these people. So the vet, espying the kerfuffle, says he's had an adverse reaction to the collar. I thought, you're good, you, weren't you? It's 5 years of training, that is. He says, due to the reaction to the collar, I feel compelled to keep him overnight for observation. I said, all right, what's that going to cost? He said, £71. Travelodge, 39. Me and the cat and the vent went down the Travelodge in the end. Free breakfast, lovely pillows. I've been John Moloney. Good night and God bless you all.